I'm your host, once again, Bishop Charles S. Waters. I'm so glad you tuned in the right place at the right time for the right miracle. I'm believing God for you. We here at New Generation Ministries, here at the Metroplex, we are believing God on your behalf. Listen, neighbor, I'm telling you, God has a word for you. He has a word for your family. He has a word for your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, whoever it is that you believe in God for, to heal or to deliver. God is still in the healing business. He is able to deliver you from no matter where you've been or no matter where you are. God is going to deliver you. I want you to stay tuned. God has been really doing some interesting things here at the Metroplex. He's been building our faith. And that's what we do here at New Generation Ministries. We help build and mold and just take God's people and just maneuver and just help them to grow, because we believe that God has his hand on every soul. There is no such thing as a soul forgotten, but God has his hand on you. I want you to stay tuned, because you're about to watch a service. I'm telling you, when I tell you the power of God moves here at New Generation Ministries, I'm telling you, he really moves. Take the time. In heaven and earth shall declare your glory. Every knee shall bow at your throne. In worship you will be exalted, O God, and your kingdom shall not pass away, O ancient of days. Blessing and honor, glory and power be unto the ancient of days. From every nation, all of creation, bow before the ancient of days. Every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare your glory. Every knee shall bow at your throne. In worship you will be exalted, O God, and your kingdom shall not pass away, O ancient of days. Everybody clap your hands. Come on, let's clap our hands one more time. We welcome, come on, New Generation, make some noise, everybody. We welcome you to the Power of Faith broadcast. I'm your host, Bishop Waters, amen, and we are in the building here at the Metroplex. We thank God for you, amen. We thank God for you, and you too, amen. And we thank God that we are here. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to delay this, amen. Are y'all ready for experience with God? Amen. These three men, amen, are simply just amazing. Been through fire, been through things that you probably could never imagine. Amen. Some of y'all probably been there too. I mean, say amen. Amen. But tonight I'm so honored. They are three wonderful men that are in training as deacons here at New Generation Ministries. I want you to simply get up on your feet one more time. Clap your hands for Deacon Bell, Deacon White, and Deacon Lewis. Come on, give God praise as they come. Come on, everybody. Come on, New Generation, make some noise. Amen. I believe some facts and all that type of stuff. Amen. 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 But we thank God. Y'all may be seated. Y'all may be seated. Let's be seated. Let's be seated. Amen. In the house of the Lord. Amen. And I want y'all to prepare yourselves. Tell your neighbors and neighbor, prepare yourself. Come on, tell your neighbor again, say neighbor, prepare yourself for a conversation that's going to blow your mind. Amen. Somebody give God some praise. And give God always blows your mind. Amen. Tell your neighbor he's working some miracles. Come on, tell your neighbor he's working miracles in your life. Amen. Come on, clap your hands for Jesus one more time. I don't even know where to really begin. Amen. with this, we're broadcasting this. How y'all fellas doing? Let's start right there. How y'all doing? I'm doing great. Such a very white going on over there. Deacon White, what's happening, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm truly blessed, man. Truly blessed.
Amen. Deacon Lewis? What's the good word?
I'm blessed, Bishop.
Right,
Just glad to be in the house again.
Now, y'all notice how they dressed up and they got me sitting up here looking like he's there. You know? But we thank God. What you going to say, Deacon?
Well, the dress thing is, we represent change. Yeah. You know, when I first started coming to church, I sat in the back, jeans, Timbs, white tee. You know, so that's how I was doing. That's how I was rolling up in there. But as time went on, I started inching up seat by seat. You know, now here I am.
Somebody give God praise for transformation. That's transformation. You know, and let me say this, for those of you who are watching this, let me tell you that God is going to change your life too. I wish I had no matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, no matter where you've been, God is still able to heal, change, and deliver you. And all of us here at the Metroplex are living testimonies because we all have a story that's behind the glory. Oh, do I have a witness somewhere in here? How about, do I have a real witness somewhere in here? Amen. I want to say this. I want to start right here. We have a lot of young people in the audience. A lot of young people that have come. A lot of adults that have come because you guys, we have seen in here the change, the dramatic change that has happened. And I want to let's go back down memory lane just for a minute. Back down memory lane. And what I mean by that is y'all haven't been in church all your life, for what I hear.
Yeah, well, I started out in there, and I maybe like around about 12, 13. I just figured that wasn't for me. I was doing too much in the streets, you know, and that wasn't my thing. Of course, you know, Grandma, you gotta come in there. I'm like, yeah, you know, but I was doing so many things out in the streets.
Yeah.
And I was, even at that age, I knew that church wasn't where I was going, not the things I was doing. You know. So me, roughly, I started like maybe around the age of 10. You know, doing all kinds of, I wasn't mischievous, I was devious. That's what I was at the age of 10. Now, you know, like some of y'all might make somebody lay the G.I. Joe down and steal it. That wasn't me. I'm taking it out your hand. That's how I wanted it. I never believed in stealing. I believed in taking. Of course, now I know it's the wrong thing to do, but you know, that's how I was doing.
Amen. So you've been changed from that?
I've been changed from that, and now, you know, I'm working on it. No, I've been changed. So take it. I've been changed.
Disclaimer. Amen.
Yes.
So, and how about you guys? Now, talk to us, because you guys we have heard, you know, from the testimonies here at the church, some of the things y'all have said in private, some things y'all just revealed openly, that you guys neither have started, you know, or may have started in the church, or whatever. Where does the foundation come from? What happened?
Well, in my case, I'm pretty older than everybody else up here, and I basically started off like Brother D. I started off in church at a young age, because my grandmother and them, they was church-going people all the time. And I used to go to church, I think I would say about 10, 11, you know, because I grew up in D.C., and we used to go to a lot of different churches.
Northeast?
Northwest.
Northwest.
I lived off of Crittenden on 16th Street.
Okay.
Up there by Rock Creek Park.
Anybody from the D.C. area in the house? The D.C. in the house? Yeah, go ahead. B-More's finest, I say. B-More, make some noise, B-More. Philly is in the house. Philly, okay. Oh, all right, Saints. Go ahead, sir.
So basically, you know, I was going to church, and you know, I started right in high school. I decided church wasn't for me. I was real gifted in football. I played football. I played a lot of sports in school, but I was real gifted in football. I had some scouts and stuff looking at me at a young age playing high school football. And, I did pretty good in school, but I was like, I was a jock. I thought I was a pretty good looking guy at that time. I was, jumping on the girls and all that stuff. And I came real popular in school. So being popular in school, it gives you a big ego. I was well known. This cat played ball real good. People looking at him. I played in the school marching band. I played trombone, saxophone, trumpet, drums. I did a lot of things, but being popular got me in the wrong crowd. I didn't want to be popular like that. I wanted to be popular like the guys that were smoking and, drinking behind the school on the basketball court. That's what I wanted to do.
Sure.
That excited me. So I got into everything under the sun. I got in a lot of trouble in D.C. And make a long story short, I got put out of D.C. by the district of the court system. I had an ultimatum, because like I say, I got in a lot of trouble. And
so you just got put out?
Yeah, they gave me an ultimatum. They said at the age of 14, do just 10 years or leave the state of D.C., leave D.C. So they told me to go to Job Corps or leave. So I took my shot at Job Corps. I went to Job Corps for 6 months and got put out of there.
Wow.
So when I left Job Corps, I couldn't go back to D.C. because I was scared of the 10 years at that time. So I came here. I've been here ever since, but I came here with the same nonsense. Yeah. And things got a little better for me. Yeah. When I moved from D.C., I moved down to Lexington Church. Wow. And
come on, some of y'all from that area. Come on.
And I grew up with some of the real big boys down there, And I got into doing a lot of things down there that I shouldn't have been doing. And I'm going to thank God real right now, because, the things I did down Lexington Church, I should have been dead. I should have been dead. And I know this. And I just thank God, man, for holding on.
Holding on. How many of you holding on right now? Go ahead, sir.
And after that, man, I ran with some of the real tough guys down there, And Deacon Bill, you know some of the guys that I ran with. See, if I call names, which I'm not going to do, but, it's just some names down there that rings. And Sister Brenda know, and, she's from that part of the hood, too, right? And we can call her Blast, too. But hey, let me tell y'all something about me, though. I ain't got no problem saying what I got to say.
That's right.
I mean, so if you get offended by what I say, it is what it is. And, like I say, I got in some things, and I wanted to get bigger into the things I was doing down there. Even though I knew it was wrong, I wanted to get bigger in that. So I started playing with the gun. I was robbing people. I ain't gonna tell you I killed nobody, but I shot at a lot of people. Wow. I did a lot of things, and I'm gonna cut this real short because I know everybody else want to speak to it. I'm not bragging about none of this stuff, but this is for a lot of the young kids.
Amen.
I done been in every jail in the state of Maryland except Compton.
Say that. Wow.
Every one of them.
Say that.
Every one of them.
Give him some
and
help.
I've done some long time.
Give him some
and
help.
if you ain't ready for jail, don't go there.
Give him some help.
Yeah.
Don't go there. And this for these kids, for real. Jail ain't the place to be. Jail is a place where everybody tell you what to do.
That's right.
Everybody in there tell you.
Yes.
Down from the inmates to the guards. Everybody. And if you don't like it, you better learn how to fight
Or love it.
or just love somebody. And that's how it's gonna be. And I'm not sugarcoating this for real. I'm telling y'all how it is. Some of y'all go to jail, y'all gonna be somebody's boyfriend.
Wow.
And you little girls in here, go for y'all too.
Right.
Yeah, it's women in them cuts
That's right.
will love y'all.
Yeah.
So I mean, that ain't the place for y'all. So y'all need to get God under your belt.
Quick, fast, and in the house.
Quick, yeah, and roll with it. Learn some things, man. Cause I'm truly growing from this experience right here, man. And like I said, I have to thank God for everything He have done for me, man. Because I know it's nobody but God. Nobody, man. Can't nobody out here tell me my man did that for me, or so and so got me this. No, I know they ain't do this. I know this God work, because my history and background will not let me do anything. Nothing. I tried to get a job one time delivering newspapers. My man told me, your record's too bad.
Wow.
To sell a quarter newspaper? Wow. I'm telling you, man, this streets thing, if you ain't ready for it, don't get in it. I mean, because life will pass you by. I'm 49 years old, man. 49. I ain't done nothing with my life but messed it up. But right now, man, I'm good.
I love to give God some praise for that right there. Something happened to me. Watch this. Go ahead. Give the numbers. Go ahead.
Some of y'all know that I just got a job, what, 2 weeks ago? Not even 2 weeks good yet, but I went into work today. Now, I was sharing this with Elder, and when I got off yesterday, I called my job for my assignment. See, I do office moving work. So I called the job for my assignment. They told me I was going to the warehouse out Eckridge. So, and I don't want to go to the warehouse because me and the vice president of the company had words when I used to work there, because he didn't want to give me no more money. So I left. Right. I just walked off the job and ain't never been back. So, like I said, they called me back almost 2 weeks ago, and they was trying to send me out the warehouse today. I walked in the office to get my sheet where I was supposed to go, and it said Rockville. I said, Rockville? I said, who changed this? And I instantly caught an attitude. Don't know why. But I caught an attitude early this morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the office, pouting. So I said, who changed the schedule? She said, here's your shirt. They gave me a supervisor's shirt.
Come on, all right.
Like I told Elder, when I got to work, and I had to drive to Rockville. So I'm driving to Rockville early in the morning, and traffic got me buzzing. I'm mad because I'm stopping and going, and I really don't know where I'm going. They done gave me a little map sheet, and I got to squint and read it, to see where I'm going. I'm scared I'm getting lost, and then, they're going to complain about me coming to work late or whatever. But I got there on time. Amen. But I complained. Now, the job I had to do, they sent me and 2 females. The females was packers. They supposed to pack some doctor files. Now, this doctor's office is almost, the doctor complex, almost big as this whole building. And we did a floor. I had to do a floor, almost a whole floor, with desks in there, big desks, file cabinets and all this. And I had to move this, so I whined and complained. I was told, I told Elder, I said, man, I was getting ready to call back to the job this morning. Is this why y'all give me this shirt? Because I was heated. But you know what? When I started doing it, it was like God took all that away. I was just happy doing it. Amen. And when I got finished with it, I was like, man, I done did all this. Would take about a crew to do. Because normally a crew, that job I did this morning, it would take at least 6 guys to do it. Wow. Me and a installer did that. Wow. And I was, man, I was actually happy I did it. Yes. So and you know what? And I thank God for that too.
Yeah.
Right down.
We got a lot.
Everybody else got to talk, man. But I'm going to tell y'all something, man. This thing is like my recovery.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
if you work this thing, it'll work. I give God the blessing for that, because I done got truly better with that.
Amen.
So I'm going to pass this thing over and I just want to tell y'all, stay with God, man.
Amen.
Come on, give God praise for that. Amen. If y'all remember, beginning of last year, Deacon Bell introduced us to a man of God that lived all the way in New Carrollton. How many familiar with that? I mean, New Carrollton, go past Fort Meade and 295 to 495, close to, right, close. Is that PG? It's PG. Any PG? Right, okay, so, but this man that called, y'all said we don't have chicken legs. Sticky legs. But y'all know the stop. Y'all remember those stop socks with the freaky weeds? Come on. All right, y'all want to act like, okay. But this man of God, right, they don't know. This man of God just came in with a humble spirit. And I think what got me about Deacon Lewis is he never asked for a handout. He always just wanted to know that God was on his side and he's trying. Amen? Amen. How many know it's just all about trying? Just you gotta try. And I just want y'all to clap your hands. Thank God for Deacon Melvin Lewis. Come on, give God praise for him. Now, just tell us a little bit about your story. Thank God for what you did at the beginning. We're talking about the beginning part of things that happened.
Well, I grew up in a good family. We was Christians. My mother and my dad didn't really go to church. My mom stayed in church, kept me in church. There was a Lutheran church right up the street. I was an altar boy, Boy Scout leader, and you know I just played in the band at school, got good grades in school, just the average kid. And as time went on, I went to high school. I was pretty good through middle school. When I got to high school, Lake Clifton, I was there 2 days. I got put out. So,
2 days?
2 days. 2 days. At first, I didn't like the school, and I was wondering why I had to go to that school. My parents was like, look, we can't afford to put you in private school or anything like that. So I had an older brother that was in the Navy. And he used to tell me, look, you get your grades good, you keep doing good, then you can just go in the Navy, go in the service. Mm-hmm. So I always wanted to go in the service. I looked at my brother. I really looked up to my oldest brother. He was very successful. And I kept saying, I'm going to go in the service. I'm going to go in the service. But it didn't happen like that. Things started when I got put out of school, and really what happened when I realized I could fight. That was it. You know what I mean? Being small, I got picked on a lot. And my mom used to tell me, look, you don't pay those people no mind. You don't pay words no mind. And my dad, on the other end, he didn't play. You know, he was like, look, you do what you got to do, and we'll worry about that later on. You know, so you know, time went on, and you know, I was a little shy person, and you know, I didn't really. I always kind of like stayed to myself. You know, had friends, some of them strayed away, and you know, stayed with some of them in the neighborhood, and I got hooked up with the wrong crowd. You know, I was in the marching band at school. Got accepted to play with the Coach marching band. You know, playing first trumpet. I went from playing third trumpet. If anybody in here know about music, I went from playing third trumpet to playing first trumpet. You know.
Yeah, we lost on that.
I was really into it. You know what I mean? And you know, in other words, if you playing a third trumpet, you followed the lead of whoever was playing first and second. I went from that. I didn't go to second. I went straight to first. So I was leading the whole trumpet section. You know, I really enjoyed it. I liked it. You know, and I just was. It was just phenomenal to me. I stopped doing that. I stopped going to practice and stuff like that. Started sneaking around the corner, drinking a little beer, you know, doing all the wrong things, you know. Every now and again, get a little weed, smoke a little weed. just out there, just did it, you know. The whole time long, my parents were saying, look, you got to get your grades. Now my grades are dropping. You got to get your grades together, you know. I'm like, all right, okay. You gotta get ready. You get ready to go to high school. You know, I'm in high school. Like I say, the second day, I got in there, got in a fight, not with a student, with a teacher. Me and the teacher was fighting, and I had nothing better to do because he was a man. I picked up the chair and I did what I had to do. You know, my dad always taught me defense and trained me. He was a boxer, so, you know, getting hit upside the head from him, you know, this man, you ain't doing nothing to me, you know what I mean? And my mother always said, you see what you created? You created a monster. And I used to take that and just, you know, I didn't play. You know, I really didn't play. I didn't care about you. I didn't care about nobody. If you did something to me, oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to, however I got to get you, I'm going to get you, you know. Because a lot of people took me for granted because I was small and I was quiet. You know what I mean? I stayed to myself. I mean, and I would give you the shirt off my back. I really would. I would give you the shirt off my back. But I got tired of people just walking over top of me. You know, I would give people, my own friends, I would give them a chance. Look, man, all right, don't worry about it. They would just keep doing stuff to me. When I started cracking heads, man, don't mess with me. Now I don't have no more friends. I grew up on 30th Street in East Baltimore, and it was an area.
East side, and the east side is in the house. East side, okay, east side, and the east side is in the house. East side makes some noise. All right.
That's all day.
East side,
I lived in between 30th. I lived on the 1700 block of 30th, in between Fenwick and Tivoli. Well, Tivoli, you could go down there, Fenwick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you could only go to a certain part. Tivoli, don't think about it. You ain't going on either. Well, you might go down by by Chilton and can get back, but don't think about going the other way. 28th and all that, because they had a guy down there named Donald Bell. A lot of my friends couldn't go down there. So, you know, I had kind of growed up a little bit and got into the drug game, you know, and I kept hearing, Donald looking for you, Donald looking for you. So I'm like, okay, what Donald want me for? You know, who's Donald? What's up with Donald? Anyway, come to find out, it was this guy right here. You know? But we had went to school together, and we knew each other from around the area. And what it was like a business deal that went down with me and him. And a lot of my friends were scared for me. They was like, man, don't go down there in Tivoli. You going down there and they say Donald Center for you. I'm like, man, I'm just as bad as Donald. I went down there to see Donald, and Donald always traveled with a group of guys. I mean, when I say a group, the neighborhood. And I'm coming, as I'm going down, I see him coming up. He walking up, and he walking fast. I'm like, oh man, don't tell me I gotta fight all these guys. But I ain't thinking about that because I know I ain't did nothing to them, you know. So I went back. On 30th, I had a truck, a pickup truck. Got in my truck. I said, I'm gonna ride through there. I ain't gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ride through there. But before I ride through there, before I even get in my truck, I'm going in the house first, and I'm coming back out. You know what I mean? I'm put some things in the truck. So I went on down anyway, and he, you know, we met up and we talked, and you know, I don't want to take y'all too fast, but we became friends. You know, and everybody was kind of, you know, scared for me. Man, you messing with Donald and this and that. Don't you know how dangerous he is and this and that, you know. And a lot of people really, to this day, they thought Donald had me doing things that I didn't want to do.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? But when Donald tell y'all the story, he going to tell y'all, you know, exactly what really went down and how things went down, you know. But, I just, you know, I thank God for the things because I started out that way, and I'm saying this to the young kids. As y'all hear me say, I was, you know, in the church, in the Boy Scouts. I was actually a Boy Scout leader. Actually, before my time, you know, because I was in. I liked it to camp. I had all kind of merits, all type. But when the streets call you,
say that.
Talk about that.
And they swallow you up. If y'all never heard that saying before, it's a terrible thing. Because there's no way possible other than God. And I tell you another thing. This says to me, I had a praying mother and praying sisters. They prayed for me because I was terrible. I know I was, you know, and that's what I wanted to say, that y'all have a chance now. Back then, we had a chance, but we blew our chances. You know what I mean? We chose to go with the streets. We thought maybe, well, if I just drink this little beer, you know, I ain't gonna mess with nothing tomorrow or whatever. It don't work like that. I'm here to tell you. The drug thing, it don't work like that. I was an addict for 21 years. I sniffed heroin for 21 years. I never ever thought that I would be sitting here telling somebody else.
Say that, bro. Now,
Come on. And saved by the grace of God.
Come on. Come on.
I know, I can tell y'all, my mom and my sisters, they tried to get here tonight, but due to the rain, they don't like to drive in bad weather. My mother's, she's up in age. But I wish it was a blessing that she could have been here, because there was somebody else that she loved her Melvin now, and still love her Melvin.
Yeah.
But she could not stand that guy named Donald Bell.
So being the same stage, and we get this.
But you know, I can let Deacon Bell finish up and tell you.
But let me say this. Y'all clap your hands for that, man. One of the things that, and I want to kind of get deep into something here. One of the things that I noticed that the young people in today's society is infatuated with, you know, artists like Jay-Z, Nicki Minaj, you know, all type of just artists, many of which were promoting drugs, women, gangs, all type of stuff. You know, and I know we got a lot of young people here, even sitting over there in the back and all that. Because I want y'all to listen to this because even though it may be a different era of music, whatever, but it seemed like the same spirit.
Right.
But even more in today's time. I want y'all to kind of elaborate on that because you guys came up through the ranks and you've seen a lot and do it. Now, my question to you all, and the film I have done, you know, the audience, you guys can ask questions and things, but my question to you all is, do you think that this generation have a chance to make it in this time? Do they have a chance to make it, or do you think they're gonna, that the enemy is gonna cause this generation to fall?
Well, me personally, I think they do have a chance, only if they can surround themselves with positive people. Because it's tough out here. It's a lot worse out here now than when we was coming up.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Nowadays, they feel like they have to be part of something. You know, nobody don't want to be part of something. They feel like they have to be part of something. They have to be a Blood or Crip or BGF or any number one of those things.
Speaking of which, not to cut you off, now I want you to hear this. Now you mentioned to me in the jail there was Bloods, Crips, BGF,
Aryan
Nation,
and Muslims.
And Muslims. Break those down because and the reason why I say break it down because I'm watching a lot of these young people joining stuff that they don't even know what it's about.
I'm gonna give you one example of this little kid. He called himself being a Blood, right? So he went down on Aspen Street. He was on Aspen North Avenue. He had his flag on, which is the bandana, red bandana. That's your flag. So he had his flag on, and he got G-checked. What that means is somebody gonna ask you where you come from, what set you claiming, and all that, and the spit form. I mean, you got to tell them something about the Crips. I mean, Blood. You got to tell him something. He ain't know what to say out his mouth. He did not. He swore he was a Blood, and he didn't know what to say out his mouth. And lo and behold, he was right across from March Funeral Home, and March Funeral Home almost got him. They ain't really had to go nowhere. All they had to do was just come across the street. That's all.
Wow.
He didn't know nothing. But he was up the way, he throwing up his little gang sign, and like he really knows something, and people, y'all, kids, y'all know nothing about that.
That's right.
That strictly come from Los Angeles. Then a couple dudes came in town and tried to create some sets. But those were the ones that basically got ran from Los Angeles. So they come here and try to make their own set.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. Did y'all hear what he just said? So you're saying many of the gangs that are here that was formed in L.A. were basically guys who was chased out of L.A.
Chased out of L.A.
And just found a home
here.
Okay.
And say, okay, I see some little gullible ones around here. So now they want to, they want the OG status, which is original gangster for those who don't know. So now they claim the OG status, but they ain't really that much older than the ones that they recruit.
Wow.
So how you gonna be an OG? And OG is somebody that's been in the game for the longest time. You might got 25, 30, 40 years under your belt before you become an OG. They 16, 17, want that title, want that rank, but the ones they trying to recruit don't know no better. Because they going by certain stuff that you might see on TV, but that ain't real. Believe me, TV is not real. It's all made up. Because when you see somebody get shot on TV, when they out of cut, they get right on up and go on the trail. Out on the streets, ain't no cut. When you get shot, you lay there, you dead.
That's real.
You know, some of y'all might don't know that from public, they say bring out. You just land there. All the police, they done chopped it off. A couple of them got them some coffee and some donuts. You know, they serious when they talk to you, when they turn their back, they lie like, boy, that's another one. You just another statistic. That's all you is. That's another one gone. So, you go to jail, and if you're not strong, then you want to claim something. You want to be a part of somebody, well, boy, you come in with the BGF, come in with the blood, come in with the Crips, or you just trying to be the Muslim. All you're looking for is protection. But if you got somebody serious in there, none of that don't matter. They can't protect you because nobody's with you 24/7.
Right.
24 hours a day, they ain't with you. So when you claim that set, or you claim your blood, or you in prison or whatever, when they go to their tier, when they lock in their cell, you all by yourself. I'm gonna let y'all peek this one right. They got something called breakfast time, right? Doors pop, 4:30, 4:45 in the morning.
Tell him, Brother Dig.
That's breakfast time. Now, if you're smart, but if you going to breakfast or not, you up, you dress, shoes on. If you're dumb, somebody slide right in your cell. As soon as the doors hit, they just slide right on in, tap your little bunk, wake you up, and you're at a disadvantage because for one, you sleep when you shouldn't have been. Because it's breakfast time. You know what's going on. You got to stay woke. You got to be up. You got to be up. Don't move. You got to be up. So when they do their tap, pull out the little blade, what we call them swords, because it'll be something they long, and you be trying to figure out how did you got this in here? Where you get that from? Homemade. It's homemade. And that wrapped all up with pieces of sheet. Yep. You know, and not tied up real tight. It's real pointy. So they tap you, wake you up out your sleep, tell you pop your locker, take your bag that you use to go commissary, take your bag, tell you fill it up, and if you got anything fresh in there, some nice shoes, some nice pants, some nice shirts, even your underwear, they take it all. Now when the doors pop back open, they tell you don't move, stand by the window. You got the end of the door right here. Window back there. Stand the window, face the window. You got to face it. They slide on out. When they slide out, they drop the bag over the chair to one of their boys. They take it in their cell, and they go on about their business. Now in the morning time come, you run out there looking for your homeboys. Oh, they run. And you know what they tell you? You got to handle your business. Now you got to make the first step. And if you don't make the first step, now they jumping on you. You know, now these are the ones you running with. The ones you claim, oh, we so tight. I'm with y'all. They looking at you like, oh yeah. Now, you got nobody and they after you. So the best thing to do, stay home. Stay home. Stay home. That's the best thing to do. Find you something positive to do. Right. Go to school. Get some good grades. And try to make it that way. The prison life ain't what it is.
Do y'all think this generation have a chance to make it?
Well, I think I have young kids myself. And I tried my best to tell my kids and teach them that, you know, they don't want to be or go where I've been. Because a lot of y'all kids out here, I know for a fact, if it was hard for me, I know it's going to be extra hard for y'all. You know what I mean? I was locked up in Rikers Island.
In the where?
Rikers Island.
Did y'all hear what he just said? How many of y'all ever heard of Rikers Island?
Oh, yeah.
How many of y'all heard? How many has never heard of Rikers Island? You never heard of Rikers?
New York.
Anybody ever see a movie where it was like the worst of the worst? Like this is like the extreme prison. Like this is where talk to us about. I mean,
Rikers Island is the worst prison in the United States.
and it sits off, right? It sits.
Yeah, it's on an island surrounded by water. I was a big time drug dealer, you know, and I got caught up there with some stuff and went to get first they took me to the Central Booking. I stayed there for like 4 days, and I kept hearing Rikers Island, they called it the Rock. So like my 5th day, they tapped on my door and said, Lewis, pack up. Tonight you going over on the Rock. I said, the Rock. I asked him, could I use the phone?
That's the last phone call.
But listen to me. This tough Melvin. You know what I mean? I'm bad at this. You know, this stage of my life. I'm the baddest thing out there. You know. Anyway, I did get to use the phone before I went over on the Rock. I called home. My father, I told y'all how the type of father I had. He answered the phone. I ain't thinking he was gonna answer the phone. You know, I'm thinking this gonna be mom. You know the story. He said, boy, what you doing? And I said, Dad, where mine? I need to talk to Mom. He said, boy, what you doing calling this time of night? He said, don't people let you get on the phone when you want? I said, Dad, I need to talk to Mom. He said, well, what's wrong? He said, they gone. I said, they gone? He said, yeah, they down in Glen Burnie. I said, well, man, look. They got this spot up here called Rikers Island, and they talking about sending me there in the morning. I want you to sell my car, my truck, go around and see my boys and get the money from them, and get me out of here, because I ain't going on the route. And he just laughed. He said, you ain't bad now, is you? You told me you was all right. He said, but look, man, I'm getting ready to get some sleep because I got to get work. He hung the phone up. So, you know, I mean, like I said, I had a tough father. He was a truck driver, country boy, you know, South Carolina, big dude. He didn't play. You know, he was mad behind the fact that I had went and got myself into all this trouble. Right after I had just got out of some trouble. You know, anyway, long story short, my first day on Rikers Island, I got in just in time for dinner. So the guard took me in and said, look, this way you bunking at, you know, this your house. Took me in the dorm, 4 North. I'll never forget it, long as I live, 4 North. I had bed 9. Went in, took my stuff, put it on the bed, came out, lined up for chow. I'm the last one to come out of the dorm. When I come out the dorm to get in the line, there was this guy come from the other dorm across from us, and he got in our line. He was supposed to get in the other line. He got in our line. When he got in our line, here come the guard told me, he said, you got to get in the back. When I get in the back, I don't know where this guy come from, but he came for the guy that was standing right in front of me. He cut this guy from his mouth to the back of his neck. The guy didn't even know he was bleeding. When that happened and the guy fell out in front of me, first, I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, man, you know you bleeding. He said, man, that guy, he always playing. I told him to go ahead. I said, man, you bleeding. The guy cut you. And when he did like this, it's like it looked like his neck just laid open. And he fell out. I was saying to myself then, I said, Lord, you know, I got to do some things, I got to change some things. You know what I mean? I said, because I ain't going back home. I'm going to tell y'all, I forgot, I left one thing out. My father told me, he said, I'm going to hang up the phone because I got to get some sleep. He said, all I'm going to tell you, don't come home no punk. Because I ain't raised no punk. That's what he told me. So I'm saying, I said, man, I got to do something now. You know, I can't take this. You know, I thought the streets was rough, but this right here, you know, this the rock. I done went big time for real, you know. Went in, they got the guy cleaned up and everything. We went to chow. The very next day, this young dude come in saying that he was Mexican mob. Now, they had all kind of gangs in Rikers Island. saying he was a Mexican mob. Young guy had his pants hanging off his behind. And they told him to pull his pants up. The guys in the dorm. He didn't want to pull his pants up. So we all got transferred. Now they put us on the tiers. He got so disrespectful. That night, they threw him off the tier. Broke his back and broke his neck. He landed on one of the tables. I thought I was in a movie or something. I'm telling you. Because it was just non-stop action. If it wasn't a fight, it was somebody doing something to the CO. And up New York, the COs don't run the jails. The inmates run.
Wow.
If anybody been to Rikers Island, they'll say, yeah, you telling the truth.
I don't think we want to go ahead.
Nope.
And if you wasn't strong, I had so many different sets coming to me, man, you better join us. Come on, join us. You here by yourself. You from Baltimore. You know what I told them? I said, check this out, man. I came in here by myself, and I'm leaving by myself. Right? I got in one incident. But when I was in, the only thing that really saved me, not because I was bad, but when I was in Central Booking, there was a guy that was the chief of the Latin Kings, and he couldn't get in contact with none of his people. So him and I went through the ranks together because he couldn't get in contact with nobody. But when I got commissary, I told him, look, man, get what you want, you know. And he never forgot that.
Right.
New York got like 67 jails. They transported me because they called me a flight risk. They transported me. I know I went to at least 40 of them. And every jail that I went to, by me meeting this dude, I would go in, and before I get settled, somebody would come, one of the Latin Kings would come to me and say, yo, you B-more? I said, yeah. They said, look, man, Chino said, make sure you're okay.
My God.
You know? Back then, I wasn't thinking, you know, I'm saying to myself, yeah, they don't want to mess with me. You know what I mean?
You thought it was you.
Thinking, you know what I mean? I ain't looking at this God.
Yeah, you thought it was you.
That's putting his shield of protection on me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's right.
But it was nothing, it was never a day that I had that I was happy. Because I constantly had to watch my back.
Yeah.
I wasn't joining no gangs.
Right.
I went in there, I knew who I was. Wasn't nobody gonna make no punk out of me, or none of that. So I had to do what I had to do. And that was stay focused. Keep, you know, in other words, keep your eyes on your prize. You know? Because if you don't, you get robbed, beat up. You know, you take a shower. I seen guys take a shower. They had to take everything they owned. They had to take it to the shower with. Everything.
That's crazy.
So Deacon, so are you saying this generation do have a chance?
Yeah, they have a chance if they do what they have to do, get wise, stay in school, listen to the parents, stop a lot of playing, think about what you want to do in your future.
Sure. Sure.
And keep that. Don't be like, you just heard Deacon Freddie. How you say he was? I'm 45. I got all the skills in the world. All the skills in I can build this, I could build this church right here. But guess what? It's hard for me to get a job because of my record. So what am I doing now? Sweeping the streets. You know, and happy about it. Happy about
Starting over fresh.
Because God brought me back.
Yeah.
To show me, you know, all of that you did before. You know, I had good jobs working at the shipyard. You know, every job I ever had, and anybody that worked with me would tell you, every job I ever had, I excelled in it. I excelled in it because I applied myself. And that was because of the upbringing that I had. You know what I mean? But when you let that thing called the streets cross you and get in your mind, all of that's down the drain. All of that's down the drain.
Come on, y'all clap your hands for that. Amen. know some of y'all got questions, and I'm going to let you deliver. I just want to ask you this one question, the same question I asked them. Do this generation of today, we got a generation of today is actually in this audience. And I sometimes, you know, I don't know about some of y'all, but sometimes I look at the generation and my spirit kind of moans. Because I don't think a lot of times they take heed to what's being said and what's going on until somebody got to wear a t-shirt with a face on it. And then so happen to be their homeboy, you know, a home girl. You know, we're looking at this generation, and you know, and even ones that's going to be watching, I look and see up and down the street, you know, Deacon mentioned about the guys with the pants hanging down and, you know, got all type getting tatted up all over the place and, you know, just really putting on this image, and many of which I'm finding wasn't even born like that. Like they have well-to-do families, nice mom, you know, maybe nice dad if he's around, and you know, things of that nature. But do this, you know, I actually just like I asked them, do this generation have a chance in survival?
My opinion on this generation, they do have a chance if they apply themselves. You know, and they gotta have the right people behind them. It's like Deacon Bell said, you gotta have the right guidance. Sure, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard for anybody. It's hard for everybody. And the generation right now, they're so caught up in what they can do. They're not caught up in what they should do. They caught up in what they can do. You know what I mean? And there's so many of them right now, they don't have the upbringing that we had, for real. You know? A lot of them parents, they 22, the kids 14 and 13. And, you know, they don't know nothing themselves. So, you know what I mean? If like, you know, my thing is if the kids get the right people in their life, yeah, they have a chance. Yeah. But if they don't, and, you know, they're going to be caught up in society as a number.
I had to come in one more time and stop the broadcast. But listen, you can easily get a copy of today's broadcast, very easily. I want you to come past the church. I want you to give us a call and come past. Now, the address of New Generation Ministries is right there on the bottom of the screen. I want you to take a look at that address. Write it down. Come visit us, 3501 Brehms Lane, Baltimore, Maryland, 21213. Or feel free to give our administrator a call. Please give us a call here at 410, 779-8299.